Hi, Dolphins. It's Miss Streza, the Avid coordinator here. In homeroom, I'm going to be giving you some tips to help you figure out college scholarships, what to do with the rest of your life. We're going to start with the letter of rec request packet. I know some of you are thinking, I'm going to Saddleback. Why do I need to care about letter of rec? Well, maybe you want some free money. That's where this comes in. So, if you go to the Dana Hills website on your phone, on your Chromebooks, you're going to scroll down to where it says guidance. You click on guidance, and on the guidance page, you're going to scroll down to where it says the letters of recommendation packet. Some of your older siblings looked at the old letter of rec packet. You're going to click it open. It is a Word doc, but you can open it up and click it over into a Google Doc. But when you look at it, it has 5 main things. So your first thing that you want to look at, I'm going to enable editing just so you can see that. The first thing that you want to look at is your deadlines. So some of you have schools and scholarships that are due between November 1st and December 31st. That means your letter of rec packet is due by October 5th. That's if you want to get it into guidance. So if you want your academic advisor to do a letter of rec for you, which would be pretty sweet, you need to get this to them by October 5th. If you want to give this to your teacher, it's a pretty solid combination. Just attach your transcript to it, and this gives a pretty good information. If you want them to do it after that point, you can do a after January 1st and turn it in after November 9th. Now, why do we have early dates? Because there are so many of you guys. So you should know who your academic advisor is. If it's changed or you're not sure, you can look here. This is our CEEB code. You can also find this a bazillion places on the website. So I'm going to hide this because it's annoying me. You put in your standardized test scores, your AP scores if you have that. Now, some of you are freaking out because you're like, my scores aren't good. Don't panic. There are scholarships, there are schools for every kid, so don't freak out. So you list 5 adjectives that best describe you and provide examples. Now, over the last 6 years of doing Avid, I have had kids that have chosen really, really dumb words. They're like, I'm funny, I'm humorous, I'm funny. Please pick words that we can use to write about you, because we take your words and then we put them into letters to write about you. And please take this seriously, because I write about 30 letters a year and they start to sound repetitive. So please, and I'm not an academic advisor, they write even more than I do. So please be very kind to the people who are writing you letters. Give us something to talk about. So if you're writing a letter of recommendation to a college admissions officer, what would you want them to know? Maybe you had cancer. Like, we don't know this unless you tell us. Choose an experience from your volunteer work or extracurricular activities and explain how it helped you grow as a person. Not like, oh yeah, like I went and I helped in an orphanage. Maybe it helped you like realize how cool it is that your shoes don't have holes. And maybe it helped you realize that you can be more empathetic. What activities and sports? List them all of them. What school activity had the greatest impact on you and why? If you play the accordion, throw it out there. Like, you be you. Embrace the weird. What are your personal career and academic goals? Why? Why? Be specific. If you want to do underwater basket weaving, explain. Tell me why. If you want to hike and look at rocks, tell me why. And then tell me what your academic strengths are. I need to know what you're good at. So if you're really good at writing and that's your jam, tell me why. Is your academic record an accurate reflection of your ability? Yes, no. If you got a really bad concussion because a baseball hit you in the head, tell me. And if that's why sophomore year, second semester was really lame, tell me. You might think that your academic advisor is going to remember all this, or that your English teacher is totally going to remember. I promise we love you and we care about you, but sometimes we forget. So please tell us the factors that contribute to your performance. And then please give us some examples, because this helps us write letters of rec. And then quotes or saying, keep it school appropriate, but what's a quote or saying or a song lyric? I have quoted Disney in letters of rec. And I have had people email me to say, I love that you referred to a Hannah Montana song in that letter of rec because it helps me get to know the kid. They want to know who you are as a person. Now, this parent brag sheet is a very cool thing. It forces you to talk to your parents, which is a good idea. 3 to 4 years, how have you seen your child develop and grow? What would you like to brag about regarding your child? Has your child overcome any unusual personal circumstances? If you want to just email this to your parents, because you don't want to talk to them, you can. But I think it's a really cool thing to just like slide this over, pass them a note, pretend like it's 1975 and you're just passing them a note. See how it goes. And then this is the huge one. And I highly recommend printing out this page and just sticking it on your binder and thinking about the colleges you plan on applying to. And maybe this will be something that you can do in your homeroom class and looking at your colleges you plan on applying to. So right up here, this is for the private or out-of-state colleges or universities. So private schools would be like if you were thinking of going to SoCA in Aliso Viejo. It's a private school. But what if you're thinking of going to University of Oregon? That's an out-of-state college. It's not private, it's out-of-state. So you would say the college, and then what's the deadline? And this is early decision. Check if yes, so you'd put like an X there. And then are you applying via the Coalition, which is a fancy platform, or the Common App, which is a different kind of fancy platform? Are you applying via the school's website? Some schools have their own website. Or are you doing a paper application? Are you going old school? So you can do that for all different kinds of schools here. If you are doing a ton of schools, you can add more. You insert column, that kind of fanciness. You can also, very exciting, check the boxes to say which of the UCs, our nice little campuses here, you're applying to, and which Cal States. Now, some kids are like, oh, I don't know which ones to apply to. Do I need a letter of rec for these schools? You do not need a letter of rec for UCs and Cal States unless you are applying to the EOP. And the EOP is a special program for kids who are generally the first in their family to attend college, or they are low income. Or there are some programs within some of the schools, like Berkeley might, after you have submitted your whole application, might have an additional letter of rec request. But that would be in the spring. You don't need to panic about that now. So if you're worried about these guys and letters of rec, don't. But if you are thinking about these guys or about scholarships that might be due by these dates, you should do your letter of rec packet. Now, one thing that some kids think of is, oh, I'm not going to do any scholarships because money grows on trees and everything is free and I'm not worried. You know what? That's you. You can not worry about it. But for those kids who are going, you know what? College is pretty expensive. I want to think about how I'm going to make it all work. You can start looking at scholarships now. There are a ton of websites, and you can go to the Capo USD Futurology website. There's a link on the Dana Hill's webpage, and you can start looking at scholarships now. Now, one thing that I know some of you guys have done in your English classes is start a resume. On the letter of rec packet, there is a sample resume. The letter of rec packet has this sample resume. It does not need to be in this exact format. However, this is a nice, solid thing that has some professional accomplishments. So it has your scores, and this is just a nice thing for your academic advisors to see what your achievements are. See how this has your personal achievements? This is not a resume for getting a job. This is an academic resume. In the academic world, we call it a CV, a curriculum vitae. So this is something like your references, your cool stuff for that. I feel like this is a really solid step to help you move to where you want to go. I'm really feeling like if you get some of this under your belt, you will feel better about where you're going. Now, for my kiddos who are thinking, you know what, I want to kind of put my head in the sand and don't want to think about any of this. I get it. I totally understand. We are going to be in homeroom also working for those kids who are like, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going straight to a trade school. I'm going straight to Saddleback. We're going to be working on looking at some trade school specific and some Saddleback specific scholarships. But I want you to consider looking at some letters of rec from employers and from your teachers as well. So stay tuned. You will get so sick of my voice over the next year. Take care, Dolphins.